We're live.
Good morning, everybody. We are back. It is the right side of campus. We are live, 10 o'clock here on a Friday, a football Friday, December 6th, 15th, 2017. I'm your host, the big man on campus. Joined as always by my co-host, Donnie Wright. Donnie, it's Friday, football Friday. Bowl games are back Saturday. Get a big college hoops card. Sunday NFL, Saturday NFL. Lot to do this weekend. How you doing?
Yeah, looking good. Hey, Jeff, sporting the hoodie today. It's getting cold now, finally up. Global warming be damned. We're actually getting a little bit of snow here in the Northeast before Christmas. It's amazing. It is football season as we head down, Jeff. Football Fridays, we have to cherish these, Jeff. Not too many left in our football season here, buddy.
Yeah, I got to tell you, after Carson Wentz got injured, I really don't mind. See you later, football. I don't mind. See you next year. Donnie, when stuff like that happens, you just get irritated. It's like, come on, everybody else is going to do so good, and we got to have a backup quarterback. I don't know. I guess I just lost interest anymore with it.
Nah, I still got to ride up. Sunday. I mean, it's always fun, Jeff. Doesn't matter. The good part about the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants games is it doesn't matter who the Eagles play at quarterback. I've watched a very good Giants team go down to Vince Young and a bunch of misfits on the Philadelphia Eagles in Giants Stadium. I've seen it all over the years. If there's one thing I didn't want to see happen, Jeff, is Eli Manning not start this football game, because just like death taxes, the Eagles pound Eli Manning and the Giants. It'll be a good time, be a good party, be a good feel good. Jeff, you sit around the campfire, drink a little bit of hot chocolate, put a little bit of marshmallows in there, and you sit back and be like, you know what? There's no pressure in this football game. It's the Giants. They stink.
Yeah, it's not so much that I don't think they're going to win. I just, I don't know. It's just like the overall feeling. They'll be fine, but it is what it is. Welcome in everyone out there. As always, thank you for listening. Do us a favor, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. We hope you enjoy programming here at SBR. Feel free to comment in the chat box, as many already have. And if you're out there on Twitter, please retweet the link going around. It's very important to the growth of the shows. It gets it out to people maybe that don't necessarily see it or have seen it. Also, always SBRpicks.com, the place to be on a Friday after you listen to the show. Obviously, you can check out on the right side and get the show listing, see what time your favorite shows are on. You got all sorts of things tonight, Donnie. You got, NBA picks, you got college picks, you got Week 15 game-by-game previews in the NFL, bowl videos, all the bowl stuff we did. I know Drew Martin headed a bowl video series where we break down all the bowls, you, me, all sorts of different handicappers. So, make sure you're looking at the SBR Pick site every day. SBR contest, Donnie, as well. Make sure you're using those. You're playing in those free contests, win real prizes, all sorts of different contests. You get the NFL Bowl stretch coming up, NHL, NBA. I get the Beat the Prick and the Bag contests, all those going on currently. And Donnie, of the College Basketball Madness, which I'm in. I started out, Donnie, get this. Want to hear some crazy stuff, Donnie? I'm going to blow your mind right now. Okay. So I was in a bad run like 2 weeks ago in college hoops. It was kind of where I came back to earth a little bit. I'm still up 23 units on the year, but I started out 0-6, Donnie, in that contest. 0-6. I posted a video. I was getting crushed. They're like, who the hell is this fucking guy, big man on campus? He sucks. He can't cap basketball. Donnie, you know what I am today as I do my video?
What's that?
After 0-6? I'm 8-8, baby. How about that? Went on a little 8-2 run here. I'm back in the game. So, you know what? I urge you. That's where I put a play a day video. Zach said to me, hey, why don't you do this? I said, you know what? I think it'd be great. It didn't start out good, but hey, you got to fight back. You got to live to see another day, Donnie, as they say. And I have. I welcome in all the people. Couple questions here to get this started, Donnie. What is your favorite coffee? Good question. I like I get the Keurig, Donnie, so I just use the dark magic, the really dark roast coffee, the really deep kind of stuff. I like that. What about you, Donnie?
Don't drink coffee. Never have, never will.
Wow. Yeah, I need it in the morning. Good for the caffeine intake. Makes you feel good. I remember when I was younger, Donnie, my grandfather, he would drink like 6 cups of coffee a day.
Oh, I know
It's
people.
big in.
Hunter Pence in Major League Baseball is big on that. Like every 30 minutes, he's pounding a cup of coffee, like ready to get set off the edge. I drink Monsters instead of coffee, and the one thing that's interesting is like I'm used to it. I'll have one the minute I wake up, and I have one about 2:30 in the afternoon. If I don't have one in the morning, Jeff, like 8 a.m., 7:30 a.m., I just like skip it all together. If I don't have one ready, I get a migraine by about noon. That's unbelievable throughout the rest of the day. It's crazy what caffeine
That's
does to
interesting.
you.
That's kind of how coffee is for a lot of people. I feel like
Yeah.
if you don't drink it in the morning, you kind of have like a headache or
Yep.
whatever. Yeah, I like the coffee in the morning. The one cup, maybe you have a cup around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Keeps you going kind of in a way. But Donnie, let's get into the morning headlines. Obviously, we do that every day. Um, an interesting story, Donnie. You kind of sprung this on me and I think a couple people, but an interesting story nonetheless. Richard Pitino, Rick Pitino. We all know his transgressions lately in the world of college hoops, but there's a story out, according to CBS Sports, Donnie, that the greedy son of a bitch that he is, decided that back in when the Hornets were coming to that area, they were originally going to go to Louisville. Rick Pitino blocked supposedly the sale there. Tell us the story, Donnie. Interesting story.
Yeah, I mean, we used to, there's a famous song, "The Devil Goes Down to Georgia," but it seems like the devil went down to Louisville and stayed there. One of those interesting things. Damn the economics of Louisville, right, Jeff? It's hard to get a major league franchise in anything, Major League Baseball, NBA, hockey, NFL. There's only so few of them to go around. So when the Charlotte Hornets were struggling in Charlotte, which is amazing when you think about it, in a basketball hotbed in North Carolina, the Hornets couldn't make it there. They were going to move to Louisville because if you remember back in the day, Louisville was still living in the a little bit outdated arena. They were going to get the Yum Center building in plan. So what better way to kick off in the major metropolis, city, to have an NBA franchise that come to town in a basketball-starved state like Kentucky was? What a showpiece to have in Louisville. You would have a major, professional team that's going to take place there. Well, working behind the scenes, the devil himself, Rick Pitino and Tom Jurk, who was the AD at the time, squashed it because why? Not because of all the jobs it would bring, the prestige that would bring, the tax rating dollars that would be in Louisville to elevate that city on a more worldwide stage. No. Pitino wanted basketball and basketball only for himself and in his arena. Didn't want to share time in the city, didn't want to share time in the arena. So he squashes it, and the NBA moves the team to New Orleans as opposed to Louisville. Does that surprise you in any way, shape, or form, Jeff, about Rick Pitino?
No. No, it doesn't. The problem that I have is I wonder how that really affects him. I would think that would help him at Louisville. I'm not sure why that hurts him. I mean, he's still getting paid regardless. I'm not sure what. I mean, I guess he wants to be center stage there. I don't know, but I mean, listen. I mean, you're not the only game in town there. I mean, there are other basketball schools in that area. I'm not sure how that would hurt your brand, Donnie.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would think it
surprised,
only
Jeff, he
help,
didn't try to get.
but
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get Churchill Downs moved after a while, where the Kentucky Derby is in Louisville,
right.
right next to the campus. I'm surprised he didn't have that shifted out to like the West Coast.
I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, there are plenty of people that like NBA and don't like college. I mean, I don't know why that wouldn't help you. I'm not sure why you would block that, but no, he's a shithead. We all know that. That doesn't surprise me at all. But you're right. I mean, one of the chat guys, Chris, Tina can do whatever he wants, right? He even banged his wife under his the mistress under the table, and he still was able to get around it, Donnie. Doesn't matter. He wasn't able to get through what happened here lately. Donnie, we move on. Manny Machado on the move, possibly. The To me, the best third baseman in baseball is they're very active in the trade market. I've heard the Philadelphia Phillies are involved, Donnie. How about that? The White Sox are an aggressive suitor. The Yankees, of course, are involved after getting rid of Chase Headley and Todd Frazier being a free agent. Donnie, do the Phillies? Do you really think they have a chance? Come on, you don't think they have a chance to do that?
Well, see, it's not even the fact of the chance. If the Phillies pull the trigger on Manny Machado this year, I'm going to be absolutely furious. The whole job of the Philadelphia Phillies was the Sixers tank mode. Load up on prospects. When everybody's ready to win, then you add pieces. Why would you tear down and send your best 2 or 3 prospects down to the Baltimore Orioles if Manny Machado plays this year for the Phillies, which they are going nowhere? Would it be a lot of fun? Would they be a market-improved team? Yes, they would, but they're not going to win the World Series this year. They have no shot at doing that. And also, why would you undercut the prospects? And then the capability, Jeff, at the end of the year, Machado can leave. because he's going to be on the free agent market at this point.
Well,
If you are the Philadelphia Phillies, the Chicago White Sox, why are you trading for Machado? Wait 1 year and pay the guy and don't give up anything.
right. You make a good point, but I mean, to your point there, Donnie, as well. I mean, you made the case all year last year that they don't even play their prospects anyway. I mean, so what is it? I mean, if you got to go make the move now, get him in here, pay him now. Why don't you just pay him now? I mean, you're going to pay him
Why
anyway.
would you? Yeah, but let's just say you got to give
Because
up
you get an
Scott
extra year.
Kingery coming up. You give up a couple young pitchers, and throw in Aaron Nola, and now you're going to have Machado. And at the end of your Machado leaves. Do you just clean house and have target practice on the Phillies front office?
Yeah, no, you make a point. I mean, I guess it's really about, do you want to win now? I mean, the problem is if the Yankees get him in, they'll pay him. You know, you're playing with fire, and that you might not get him again. You're not going to get this opportunity maybe again. But I hear you.
No, but
I
I could see the Yankees. If the Yankees give up their top 3 prospects for Machado, would you get mad? They're ready to win right now over the next 2 to 3 years.
Right. Sure.
You know? So,
No,
I don't have anything. And the Yankees have unlimited funds. They'll go out and spend. Hey, if Machado wants $400 million, they'll find a way to make it work. It's the Yankees. They don't care about taxes. Same way the Los Angeles Dodgers. Just unlimited payroll capabilities. But when you're ready to win, I agree. But if you're still building your team, come on. What are you doing?
And Dan Duquette said he's open to a trade to a AL East opponent, which is interesting. Sometimes they'll block those. Yeah, but yeah, hey, listen, if they could somehow get Manny Machado, fucking hell. I mean, I don't know what I would even say. Donnie, we didn't make the case. We didn't make it yet just because we were talking about baseball and basketball, but it is Football Friday. A lot to do here on the show. We're going to break down all 5 bowl games on Saturday, raring and ready to go as the bowl season commences. NFL playoff races are coming up, and we'll talk about a couple key games there as well. Donnie, before we do that, did want to throw in one other headline. ESPN, I know they get a lot of shit that, people want to bust ESPN's balls. When all of you people still watch ESPN, it's not like you don't watch the channel. I love all these people. I don't watch ESPN. Fuck ESPN. I'm fucking sick of that channel. You watch it every fucking night when the Sixers are on or your favorite team's on. Cut the shit. You watch ESPN. But they did a great thing this morning, Donnie. I don't know if you saw it. About the Sixers. They're doing this thing today with the Sixers. You didn't see it? Did you see it?
No, it's like all access maybe or something like that because they're literally like moving. Yeah, yep.
It was cool. They did a little thing on the city basically of they just picked random people off the street. Some of them, they picked that guy that's center court with the white hair. They picked couple Termini Brothers owner and John's Roast Pork's owner. All these different people in the city, and they did like an expose about Philadelphia and how it was down really in the doldrums basketball wise, from the playgrounds to everywhere around the city. Now the Sixers are almost energized. They've energized the city. It was pretty cool. If you can get a chance to watch it, I would check it out. It was just a cool little thing. And it's all about the Sixers today on ESPN. So hey, if you don't like Philadelphia, you probably shouldn't fucking watch it today, but we will, because we love our Sixers here. But Donnie, it is Football Friday. We move on to the playoff race in the NFL. Obviously, the NFC is a little bit more up in the air. Let's move that down, Larry boy there. We get a move down, Donnie. There it is. Good stuff. Thank you, brother. We move on. NFC. Yeah, the NFC is a lot more interesting, Donnie. You got so many teams vying for playoff glory. Can the Seahawks and Dallas, can they get involved here? They're involved. Can they get more involved? Can the Eagles hang on to this number 1 seed? If they win this week, Donnie, and the Bengals somehow beat the Vikings, the number 1 seed is the Philadelphia Eagles. What are you most looking forward to, Donnie, with the playoff race here?
Yeah, I think just the fun of these football games where like it's meaningless. It's not me. Excuse me, the opposite of meaningless. I mean, you're heading down the stretch here. It's basically, if you're looking at a tournament, the loser goes home. I mean, look at the Chargers in the Kansas City game. Going to start you off with Saturday Night Football. That's going to be a great game and go a long way to determine. Because remember back a couple weeks ago, I would say a couple months ago at this point, when Kansas City went in and beat the Chargers. at the little soccer field, as we like to say out there, with no home field advantage in that game. That's back still when Hunt was running wild in those games. You had, I think, like 4 or 5 interceptions. I want to say that Phillip Rivers threw in that game. Completely different ball club now for the Chargers. I like that football game. Looking forward to obviously Green Bay, Carolina. A lot of ramifications on you to see who's going to take that next step. But there's also, Jeff, that we talked about yesterday, a lot of trap games out there. Not trap games in a sense where the team should lose the football game, but there's a bigger prize at the end of the tunnel. Case in point, Jeff, going to look like Cincinnati and Minnesota. Minnesota lost this week. Do they want to come back and win this week? Of course they do. But look who's on that horizon. They're going to have to travel up and play the Aaron Rodgers-led Green Bay Packers. How much energy are you going to expend into beating a Cincinnati ball club out there who's an out-of-conference team, your double-digit favorites? Similar scenario, NFC, AFC team, Jeff. The New Orleans Saints game with the New York Jets. Jets get absolutely obliterated in that game, but how much is New Orleans going to care? Are you going to run Alvin Kamara and have him have 25 touches in this football game, Jeff, coming off a concussion, when you know the big prize is next week in the season and heading into the playoffs? So some interesting scenarios here for these playoff races, but it almost has that NCAA feel at this point, Jeff. Win or go home, or win or improve your standings, lose and drop out of the games.
Yeah, it's time to put up or shut up if you're an NFL team. Time is now. Donnie, can the Vikings really lose? I mean, what a tremendous upset that'd be. Kind of reminds you of like that year where the Eagles needed the Raiders and like another team to lose, and they would have got in by beating the Cowboys. It's just very random things, but we'll hope it can happen. Donnie, Jacksonville's a 11.5-point favorite. I can't believe that. I mean, can you really bring yourself to lay 11.5 points with the Jacksonville Jaguars? I know it's at home and all, but that's a lot of points to lay with that franchise. But Donnie, interesting placement of the topics today. I would have thought we would have went right into the NFL as opposed to talking about the big stories and then going into college. What was your thought process here, Donnie, with the topics?
What do you mean?
Well, we're talking NFL playoff race. Now we're going into its bowl season. Then we're going to go back to NFL key games.
Split it up. Yep. You want to massage your way into. You want to get a little bit revved up about the NFL. Then you want to pull back, Jeff. Then you want to go hard with the key games and go over each and every one of those.
You're thinking way too much, Donnie, about this.
Maybe we can get a commercial. Maybe we can get a commercial break in here, Jeff. Do a quick read. Maybe take a little time out. We'll be back after this. One of those things.
Yeah, right. Well, actually, you know what? I will make this point, Donnie. Interesting thing I read in the SPR forum yesterday. Shout out to those guys. There was an interesting news, Donnie, briefing that came out yesterday. I didn't hear about this. This was a post in yesterday's forum on SPRforum.com. You want to hear this, Donnie? Get a load of this.
Go ahead. Let's do it.
I got DMs on Twitter yesterday that 2 guys nicknamed BMOC and Donnie Rightside were in attendance.
Wait, are they our nickname?
At the Temple game, and had girlfriends of 2 players and the mom of another sitting between them, looking like they were being held hostage, sitting uncomfortably, glancing down at the hands as the 2 big men sitting next to them had in their pockets next to their hips. Looks like the fix might have been in from the local mafiosos and bookmakers. Always be careful in these city-Philly rivalry games. So that was the talk of the town, Donnie, yesterday on the forum. Looks like there were 2 masked men inside the arena holding people hostage for the game.
Yeah, well, if you know anything about me and the BMOC, like, we're big Temple guys, but we're gonna put it out there. Go Temple, Jeff. But the underhand reaches over the table and says, Villanova's to play. Go Temple. And that's what we did there at the game, Jeff? Yeah.
Correct.
Make sure we sat behind the Make sure we sat behind the Villanova bench to put that added pressure on them to make sure they performed.
Yeah, there was a reason we were there, by the way. And it wasn't just to watch the game. But whoever wrote that, that guy posts in the forum a lot. Interesting and illustrated post. Donnie, let's get into the bowl games here. Then we'll get back to NFL for some reason. Let's go to the bowl game.
Wait, we didn't even talk about the Eagles' new season or spoilers out there. Come on, Jeffrey. I know you take medication to stay online here. We got to stay online.
I mean, Donnie, how many times are we going to talk about the Eagles' new season? I mean, fucking hell. I mean, it's boring.
All right, let's skip it. All right, here's what we do. Behind the scenes there, Larry, slide it all the way down to out here in the chat box, and we'll get out of here in about 3 minutes.
Donnie, listen, that's why I set you up for your chat. You're the NFL guy here. I love the Eagles, but again, I mean, you're the guy. Go ahead, talk about the spoilers. That's what I was thinking you were doing. I thought we were done with the NFL.
Oh, you got like this is the reason why we set it up. Like I'll explain to you how the show goes. We start with morning headlines, and then there's
I
usually
get
like
how
two
the
or three
show goes,
topics.
Donnie, but
We
I
go
don't.
over there. Then hold on. Then we slide it down the NFL playoff race, and then we go over major ramifications. Then we go over Eagles' new season begins. Then we go over spoilers. Then we slide it down the bowl season. Look, there we go. Out here in the chat box, we almost did it. We're almost out of here
Well,
early after a 20
again,
minutes.
I'm just again, I'm making the point. I felt like we talked about the spoiler. I mean, what else do we have to talk about with the Eagles? I thought we were done. My apologies. Let's go into Eagles. The new season begins. We got Nick Foles at the helm, Jason Kelsey kicking trash cans. We have Zach Ertz is back. They're headed on the road. They're taking on the New York Giants. They are a 7-point favorite. A lot of points to be laying in a game like this. You have a new quarterback. I'd imagine they're going to lean on the run game, but the one concern you have is the Giants have a pretty decent defensive line. Donnie, the new season begins. What happens here?
Yeah, it's interesting with the Eagles when you look at it. I mean, you want to talk about, Jeff, you brought up a good point there with Jason Kelsey kicking the trash can and leaving practice. It was literally Armageddon in the city of Philadelphia for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 minutes because for some reason the Eagles, and I guess it's this way in other cities, maybe it's not, but the Eagles seem to have like 15 beat reporters that are for every moment of news and get everything, no matter what happens, caught live. And it was said, like Jason Kelsey limping, kicked the trash can and left. Oh my God, he's been battling a high ankle sprain, which I've never heard about this. So Kelsey comes back to practice and saying he's still limping extremely bad. And after practice, found like, dude, I got stomped on in my shin. Has anybody out there stepped on a Lego or got kicked in the shin where you get pissed off for about a minute or two, shake it off and get back in there? You would have thought Jeff Kelsey was about to have his leg amputated within 30 seconds, and our season is going down the drain.
Listen, I mean, he's got to be smarter than that. I mean, you can't be doing that. I mean, that's 7-year-old behavior there. I mean, he's got to realize he's a big part of this team. And look, I get it. You're annoyed, but I mean, what if that trash can was filled up and there was stuff in there that shouldn't be, and he shatters his ankle? I mean, listen.
Before he was okay, Jeff. Like I saw the video. Like before he was okay, I'm saying like he just kicked the shit out of that trash can. How bad? Because his legs hurt.
Well, maybe it was the other. And listen, I mean, Joel Berry, I remember, he broke his wrist this year in a fight with a door. I mean, people hit each other and they hurt their head. I mean, you never know. And with this city the way it is, I'm not surprised he didn't break his ankle. I mean, that wouldn't have surprised me one bit that he hurt himself kicking a trash can. But again, yes, for the 2 or 3 minutes where Jason Kelsey walked off the practice field, our first thoughts were, and yes, the Eagles beat reporters, the 8,000 that they are, reported that he was out. And I'm thinking, fuck, I mean, come on, man, with this. Like, it's so typical. And I even tweeted that out, so typical. And then 2, 3 minutes later, I tweeted out false alarm, and I thought, okay, good. And thank God. Yeah, it was definitely a scare for a minute because, like Lane Johnson, he's probably the most important person on this team right now, as far as the offensive line's concerned. As far as spoilers, as you look at this spoiler avenue, I mean, the Browns are a spoiler, Donnie. Can they actually
They can spoil Jeff, they can spoil themselves, right? We need the 0-16 around here.
True.
They can spoil themselves, not even the other team.
Yeah, you got to wonder at this point if you're the Browns. I mean, you pretty much have to tank at this point. I mean, what? And for me, I hope they do because I have that future going, Donnie. Donnie, let me ask you. I have that future, and they'll probably lose this week, but you got to think next week. I got to consider maybe hedging. No, I mean, I can see the Bears.
Give me the last 3 games. I think the Bears are slow. I don't know. Where's the game at, Jeff? Actually,
it's in Chicago, so that's kind of I'm feeling okay with that because in Chicago they normally play pretty well.
Yeah, you know what? Now I'm thinking about that. Yeah, it's in Chicago. I still think they're not going to win a football game. The one thing that's helping you out, or excuse me, not helping you out, Jeff, is the fact that there's no other like 1-win team out there. So sort of if they get that win, they can feel good and say we avoided 0-16 and we still get the top draft pick. I would have felt much better if like the Giants had 1 win or the Niners had 1 win, and then you'd say, we can't win this football game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean that's really my concern. I mean, they're not going to beat the Ravens. I mean, it's going to come down to that Bears game. And look, it's a pretty healthy future, so I might consider trying to get a little money back on it. But I might just let it ride too. I mean, who knows? But yeah, that's an interesting game just because the Ravens are in the midst of a pretty important race. The Giants, Donnie, they're a big spoiler, clearly. I mean, them beating the Eagles wouldn't be surprising. I mean, would you be surprised, Donnie, if they beat the Eagles? I mean,
Yeah,
especially with
I
the
would be
state.
shocked.
I mean,
No,
I know the
I would
Eagles.
be shocked.
Yeah,
Because I
shocked
mean,
that.
if I've bet a lot of Giants football, and I watch every minute of Giants games, Jeff. They're abysmal. Like, it's not so much that you say, like, the Eagles aren't going to be as explosive without Wentz. I get all that. Are the Eagles going to be as good on offense without Wentz? No, it's clearly not. I mean, obviously, you have a dynamic MVP quality quarterback. Now you're going to go to the backup. Foles is a good backup, but he's still the backup. Jeff, the Giants have no offensive line, no running backs whatsoever, like a half of wide receiver, a young rookie tight end is all they have, a quarterback that's extremely turnover prone and looks to get himself sacked on every play. You have a defense. You're right. They do have a good defensive line, but they have absolutely zero, maybe the worst linebacking core of the past 20 years right now since everybody's injured. Like, Eli Apple is texting during the Dallas game. They don't even want Eli Apple on the team, a massive first-round bust. What are they really going to play for in this football game? Half that stadium is going to be Eagles fans. The Giants are done. They had their last hurrah, so to speak, last week. Hey, Cowboys in town. Let's play upsets. Eli's back. And they were god-awful in that football game. They're a really bad football team.
Eli Apple tweeting during the game. How's that happen? Like, what is
Because
the
he was
phone
inactive. Yeah, he's been inactive. So he's just like hanging out, like,
Wow.
Tweeting his boys and stuff like that. He's been a mess. His mom's been a mess. Immediately, you knew something was up with this relationship right away when they drafted Eli, and his mom was straight up on SportsCenter trying to say, girls don't come after my son and I'm big in his life. You knew something was off right there. It just seems like that. The Giants in their DB is first round. Prince Amukamara, bust. And then you slipped over Eli Apple, straight up bust, which is good. I'm an Eagles fan. I'm glad they busted out, but for some reason the Giants haven't had too much success with that first pick.
His mom was kind of like LeVar Ball. She was like the mother version of LeVar Ball.
Yep.
I do remember though at the I'm trying to remember. I believe it was it was some random some dinner or something in New York. Dude, I remember though he brought her to one of these dinners or whatever. Bro, she had this black dress on, skin tight, dude. She wasn't looking bad actually. And in that sense. I mean, even at the NFL draft, I mean, not a bad looking woman, but definitely seemed kind of like that LeVar Ball type of mom father kind of person. She was definitely irritated. Didn't she get a job with the league office? I believe. I feel like she did in some way.
Like, a high, like real quick, like, personality coming out, and my son showed me his phone and all these girls trying to get in his DMs like that. And it was just like something's a little bit amiss. And Eli Apple, played high school football within 5 to 6 miles of my house right now, goes to Ohio State, comes out. A little bit of a reach, I thought, for the Giants, but it's one of those things where something doesn't seem right. And then all of a sudden, he's walking, he doesn't like to get criticized. He leaves meetings. They're just deactivating it. Jeff, a first round pick in his young career on a team that's 2-10 and going nowhere. They don't even want to take a look at the guy back there. It's just amazing, man. Amazing.
The question of the day, Eli Apple, his mother, would you? Question mark. Eli Apple's mother. That's
now
question.
The prayers up to his mom, because I think she was going through, I don't know if it's cancer, had some pretty serious surgeries over the past few weeks. So I like to bite my tongue a little bit when I'm ripping on like Eli Apple or his mom or anything like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not
being from that respectful aspect.
I'll tell you what, I'm not ripping on her. I think she's a pretty decent looking woman, frankly. But I didn't know that. That's my apologies.
Yeah.
But either way, would you? Health, I didn't know that, but it's an interesting question because she's not a bad looking woman for her age. Yeah. Donnie, any other spoilers that you're looking at? Do you have your eye on that we might need to get aware of?
Yeah, the interesting one, Jeff. 327, 328. We won't break down the game, but you know where I'm going here, Jeff. Tennessee and San Francisco. Tennessee is fighting for their life to win that AFC South, trying to head into the playoffs. Everything on the line, and you're going to hang them as an underdog to the San Francisco 49ers because of Jimmy G out there. That's an amazing game. You want to talk about a spoiler, Jeff? That's not a spoiler at home getting like 10 points saying, hey, if they play well. People are expecting the San Francisco 49ers to straight up beat Tennessee. And right now, when you watch the Tennessee Titans, Jeff, they're losing to the Arizona Cardinals. You can't lose. Now you're going to fly back. I don't think they stayed on the West Coast, so fly back home, fly all the way back out there. They're the more talented team, but my goodness, an underdog on the road to the San Francisco 49ers with nothing to play for, Jeff.
I'm telling you right now, the San Francisco 49ers are going to be a good football team. In a year or two, Jimmy G is the man out there, bro. He is killing it right now, and he's going to kill it out there. They got the right leadership. They're going to be decent. They have a pretty okay defense, Donnie. If they can get some playmakers, They're going to be very high up in the draft this year. I like that team. I'm telling you, that team is decent now that they have a quarterback. Um, Hit the like button. Amen. Amen. Does Mariota suck now? I don't know about that. I mean, he gets injured a lot, which is concerning. It seems like everyone gets injured, Donnie, though. I mean, every good player, it
If
always
you're
seems like they
mobile.
get injured.
Yep. If you can roll out of the pocket, Jeff, your career is short in the NFL.
Over 1,000 thumbs down on Gabe's show last night. Really? No way. That's
Thousands.
wow.
Who was the guest?
Somebody.
Were you the guest, Jeff? Were you the guest last night? Is that why?
No, it was Gamble Gamble out in Las Vegas, MMA capper. I've had him on my show. Good guy. I don't think it had anything to do with Gamble. Skooma Steve, fuck it, I'd hit it. Yes, agreed.
Hmm.
I think we're returning back to someone's mother that we were talking about. We're not going to do that anymore. No talking about people's mother. That was bad by me. Donnie, we move on. Bowl game talk now. And these are kind of those early bowl games. And, listen, I've made the point before, there are way too many bowl games. And, I'm going to actually talk about this first. Do you enjoy the early bowl games? Listen, I guess I do, because there's betting opportunities and it's college football after being off other than Army Navy for a couple weeks. But do I enjoy them? Not really. I mean, there are a lot of early bowl games. There's a lot that should be cut down. I think there should be about 20 bowl games. Not, I mean, what are there, 40? I mean, that's way too, I think there are 41 bowl games. It's way too many. We're awarding people for being mediocre. We're giving out trophies to people that probably don't deserve them. I mean, we were actually putting 5 and 7 teams in bowl games last year. I mean, bowl games used to be about, motivation and how good you played. So you win 6 games out of 12 at 50%, and you're going to be in a position to be a winner. It's bullshit. It's all about money, which unfortunately that's how the world works. I mean, look at the state of our world and how money has controlled it. But do I enjoy it? Not really. Do you, Donnie?
No, not from a viewing standpoint. Like if you came in, like we're gamblers, you know what I mean? We're going to give out advice on which sides, premium plays and do you love games? I don't love anything on Saturday, college football wise, but there are some interesting angles that we're going to go over. But you're right. Let's just say you're a college football fan, Jeff, or you're just a football fan in general. You don't bet sports, but you just want to sit down and watch. Is anything on Saturday like yo, Jeff, man, we got to get together, brother. Let's have a couple beers and watch Georgia State, Western Kentucky. Like that doesn't really, but if you're betting on it, I understand. And the more football, the better for me. And we're involved in it and always having fun. But I'm just talking about from a standpoint, like I have a wife. We all have lives outside of this stuff we do here. Like I would rather go out with the wife and like spend some time with her just to get her off my back because I know what's coming on Sunday than to say, you know what, I'm going to pick a battle right here. Me and Jeff are going to get together. I'm going to drive into the city. Me and Jeff are going to drink some beers, have some wings, and we're going to watch Oregon, Boise State. I'd rather spend that on like one of the Final Four games, and it coming up, or a big NFL game as opposed to tomorrow. Nothing tomorrow really gets me excited in those games, Jeff.
I'm being totally truthful, Donnie, and I'm being really honest here. I would much rather watch the Celebration Bowl over Georgia State, West Kentucky, the Grambling, North Carolina A&T game, because you're going to get genuine competition there. You're going to get teams that really care. I mean, and you look at last year, Tariq Cohen, North Carolina A&T. You're going to be able to see some guys that you've never heard of. They care. It's historic, the game. The games are usually normally pretty good. I'd much rather watch that over Georgia State, West Kentucky. But let's get into it here, Donnie. We'll break these down, give an opinion on each of them. 201, 202, the New Orleans Bowl. Troy laying 7 to North Texas, over under 62.5. This game's usually, Donnie, interestingly enough, at 11 a.m. Looks like they pushed it back, though, to 1 o'clock p.m., which, Donnie, what's with the change here? I mean, why not keep it at 11 a.m.? This is a bit unfair to the teams last year that had to play at 11 a.m., isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe TV dictated that, or you want to try to fit it in a certain time frame, or hey, maybe Grambling State, North Carolina A&T took precedent there. They didn't want to run it over and let them get the first start. I don't know why they pushed it back, but to me, Jeff, I don't think people were waiting around like, God damn it, I tried to tape that game and I got it wrong. You know what I mean? I don't
the only people that care are probably the Mean Green fans who have to wait a couple extra hours. But Donnie, listen, this one's tough because you have a team in North Texas who. You like what they've done. They're 9-4. Seth Luttrell's done a great job there. You're kind of bringing them back from the
Yes.
the depths of hell,
Yeah.
basically. I
Yeah.
mean, this was a winless team a couple years ago. Now they're a 9-4 team in a bowl game. They're going to be excited to play in this game. The concern I have here is one, Jeffrey Wilson's not playing, and he's important to their football team. I mean, frankly, I like Mason Fine and all, but listen, I mean, the Sun Belt's or not the Sun Belt, the Conference USA is not a great conference outside of Florida Atlantic and maybe Middle Tennessee. Without him, I'm not sure that maybe they have the offense to play against Troy. Troy's a very good defensive group. They have a senior quarterback, Brandon Silvers. They went in and beat good opponents. Troy's really good, Donnie. I mean, 10-2. They've been real good on the road against the spread. They have a great defense, and I got to tell you, I'm not really too interested in backing North Texas defense. I don't think they're very good at this number. It's a little high. I mean, I would have loved
Yeah.
to have gotten like clearly under that 7-point number. Still, though, if I had to bet this game, I'd be looking towards Troy here. I'm just not a big fan of this team, North Texas, without Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, give me a little bit. Give me a team that plays the better defense at this point. They're both going to be excited to be there. When I did the bowl videos a week and a half ago, this number was under 7, and I did 6.5. Numbers got in the way a little bit, but again, we do a show here. We do line it up. I can't say, well, you should have had it at 6. We're doing this loud. I still would take the 7 because I think they're overall the better football team. But North Texas is going to be able to roll around with Mason Fine and make some plays. Yes, they have Guyton at wide receiver. They still have a few other wide receivers on top of that as well. Troy, to me though, Jeff, can just dig down deep and make those stops on defense, and their offense is going to be good enough coming into the game hot. I mean, beating Georgia Southern, not a great thing. Beating Idaho, not the greatest thing. Coastal Carolina, Texas State, but they beat all those and most of those teams convincingly, Jeff, and beating a game Arkansas State team by 7. I think they have enough chops to go into this football game and lay. North Texas not going to be an easy out because, Jeff, when you have a good mobile quarterback at the end of football games, and we always play with that backdoor option, 10, 14, we've seen some crazy finishes over the past couple of years in bowl season, but I'm still confident enough to lay it on Troy. I like the way they play defense. I think they can run the football and really expose that Northern Texas defensive front. I'll lean on those points there. I'll lay it there with Troy.
Yeah, I think we totally agree with this one. Real quick, Donnie, tonight, I do want to make a point. A great game, 8 o'clock Eastern. Sam Houston heading into North Dakota State. We all know North Dakota State's success at this level, Donnie. They've been absolutely dominating. But I will say this. I believe Jeremiah Briscoe is an NFL caliber quarterback. I'm really interested to see how he plays in this kind of game. Going into the Fargo Dome against the top defense in the country, the way they run the football, the Bison. Obviously, they're a big throwing team generally with Carson Wentz over the years and those kind of guys. But their run, play defense, Sam Houston, up tempo, like to run around and throw the ball up and down the field. 20 points is a lot of points given offense like Sam Houston State. The problem is if they're bogged down and can't move the football, they're going to lose possessions quick. They're going to get more possessions to the Bison. I don't like stepping in front of the Bison. All I'm saying is I think Briscoe is the kind of guy that can go in. I'm not saying he's going to win this game, but giving him 20 points is a little dangerous. I'll be interested. If this line goes up above 21, I'm going to get on Sam Houston State. I got to be honest. Donnie, we have an interesting comment here. We should have a GoFundMe to start a SBR Bowl in Costa Rica called the Right Side of Campus Bowl. That's a good point. I agree. The BMOC Bowl.
Yeah, right in Escazú. I would like that. Yeah, I mean, we could get it done. You see the game. What's the Popeyes? The Popeyes game gets played in the Bahamas, so why not have one in Costa Rica?
Yeah, and it's sponsored by Sportsbook Review, the great people at Sportsbook Review. Allow legal betting because it's in a country that allows it. Yeah,
you could bring in
I agree
Mansell
with
and
that.
flip the coin. You know what I mean? It could be a big whole thing. Yeah.
Maybe he could even coach.
Yes. Yep. Him and Herm Edwards. Yeah, sure.
I like it. Maybe get Herm Edwards down there, Arizona State against someone else. Maybe even like an exhibition game, any kind of game. I would be into that. But let's move on, Donnie.
Sure.
Did just want to give my opinion on that game quickly.
Yep.
If that game goes up over 21, I probably will get on the Bearcats there. Next game here on the little card here, Georgia State. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. The Cure Bowl. No. Georgia State's in this bowl every year, seemingly playing West Kentucky. Look, Georgia State's a solid offense. Connor Manning, a pretty good quarterback. Penny Hart, receiver. I'm pretty numb on this game. I mean, West Kentucky's 1-6 in the favorite role this year. They're definitely not that potent West Kentucky team we were accustomed to under Jeff Brom. Mike Sanford's really, frankly, bogged this offense down. Defensively, they're not particularly good. I'm not running to the window to bet West Kentucky here. It'll be interesting if this gets to 7. If it gets to 7, might be interested in Georgia State. I think they're a little bit better than people might think, and I think they'll be up for a bowl game surely. Not a big opinion on the Cure Bowl. Gun in my head, I take Georgia State.
Yeah, it looks like Penny Hart's going to give it a go in this football game. Again, we were doing these bowl videos a week and a half ago. It was questionable at the time. It doesn't really change my opinion. Connor Manning's a good quarterback. He's a very good wide receiver, but I just think they're going to be a little bit outmanned, Jeff. When you look at Georgia State, just take, the last 5 or 6 games in a caption. South Alabama, Georgia Southern, Texas State, Idaho. And then you throw in Appalachian State. When you step up in competition, Jeff, which we like to look at, they get pasted 31-10 by App State. Am I saying that Western Kentucky is better than App State or on that same playing field or they're at home or away? It's going to be a neutral environment. But looking at Western Kentucky heading down the stretch, Jeff, when you see those games that Georgia State played, barely hanging on, getting a couple wins, losing a couple of those games. If you look at Western Kentucky, throw the records out there. I mean, Florida Atlantic, Vanderbilt, Marshall, Middle Tennessee State with Stockstill back, and Florida International to end the season. That's a tough sled here. I mean, what you're looking at saying is this team has looked to playing in a step-up competition, in a step-up bowl, more opposed to Georgia State at this point. If I'm looking at betting this game, it's not outrageous the price you're getting, Jeff. Opened up at 5, now sitting at 6.5, 6 across the board, still under a touchdown. I just think the better overall team, better talent team is Western Kentucky. I'll lean on them in this environment as opposed to going with Georgia State. Georgia State's going to be happy to be there, don't get me wrong, but I just think the competition level that Western Kentucky has seen throughout the season compared to Georgia State's a little bit different. I'll take them there. Give me anything 7 or less. I'm still going to take Western Kentucky in this one, Jeff.
Yeah, it's kind of numb for me. I don't have a big one of feeling on this. This one I'm not going to have any interest in. I got a question, Larry. Maybe you could let me know on the chat if this is something we could do. A lot of people throwing in names here on there. If they could name the bowl, what they'd name it. Maybe we can, Donnie, at the end of the show, pick the best name, get him a T-shirt. Is that something we could do, Larry? We have T-shirts available. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say we do. We're still waiting on some, but maybe you can let me know, Larry, in the chat here, if in our group message, if we have the availability of that, because there's some good names coming in here, Donnie. The high-rise
Daredevil fly him down to the Grand Casino in Escazú. Have some fun, man.
How about that, Donnie? The high-rise Daredevil Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Winter
Bitcoin
fall.
Bowl. The Fuckboy Bowl. I don't think you're going to call it that. The Chandler's Deli Soul Food Bowl. Good one. Very local. Captain Crunch Bowl.
The Del Rey Bowl.
Chinese Chicken Bowl. The BMOC Bowl. A lot of interesting names here. Still no answer on the T-shirts available. I don't think we have them. But I asked the guy, okay, let us know, Donnie.
I would like the right side of campus bowl down there, Jeff. We had the right side of campus bowl. Me and you would have the, SBR obviously would be sponsoring the game so they could throw their weight around and be like, look, Donnie and Jeff are going to call this game live from the booth,
Yeah, we're definitely going to call it play-by-play. And our luck could be a game like fucking West Kentucky, Georgia State, where we have no interest in calling it. A game I do have some interest in, Donnie, is this game here, the Las Vegas Bowl. Always a pretty decent bowl. Oregon laying 7 at Boise State.
Is it still Royal Purple, Jeff? Is it still sponsored by Royal Purple? Or did we change that one there?
I do believe, yes, it is Royal Purple. It is the Royal Purple Las Vegas Bowl. What Royal Purple is, I have no idea. Maybe someone can enlighten me on what Royal Purple is. Actually, you know what, Donnie? I'm not seeing that it is. I think it's just the Las Vegas Bowl now. Maybe they decided that. Maybe that they decided that was a little risque for that bowl.
Jeff, by the way, speaking of the Royal Purple Bowl, a couple of years ago, USC was down there. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was one certain coach that likes chicken on a stick, I believe, who got a win as an interim head coach. Am I remembering this correctly?
Yeah, Donnie, we did, I think. That back in 2013, we beat Fresno State. We were out there. It was a little out of my element. I prefer the deep south down at Bayou, but down at USC, it was nice. We were able to get a win there against Fresno, 45-20, and that really set the tone for the season the year after. But I'm down in LSU, go Tigers. We're in the I don't know if you know, we're in the Camping World Bowl down in Orlando, Donnie. But yes, good memory for you. If it does do say so myself. But yeah, Donnie, the Las Vegas Bowl. Let's get into that here. No Royal Purple, just the Las Vegas Bowl. No Royce Freeman in this game, Donnie.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mentioned I liked Boise State early in the week. That was without Royce Freeman news, but the fact that he's not in this game makes me definitely like Boise a little bit here. Defensively, they're really good. They're way better defense than Oregon is, and I like Rippon. I know he's had some injuries this year and has struggled a little bit, but he's really kind of gotten back into it. They've played really good football to basically get into the position they were in. I mean, early in the season when they lost to Virginia, Donnie, did you think they would make a run and get into the final in the Mountain West? I didn't. I mean, I was concerned. I mean, they weren't playing well on the defensive end, but they've really kind of their offense has gotten much better. Done a nice job. I've been pretty good against the spread as well over those last 7-8 games. I like Boise State here getting 7 points. I think in this game, I think they're just. I'd much rather take 7 points than Lamb here with Boise. Give me the Broncos.
Yeah, no, a little bit of turmoil there. Crystal is going to take over. You lose your head coach, immediately get, pegged down for me if you're looking to bet Oregon. Now you have, looking forward to the NFL future. Guys aren't invested that much anymore. You see their best running back now going to sit it out. I mean, and rightfully so. What point does he get in playing in the Las Vegas Bowl at this point when your future is going to be just don't get hurt, have a good combine, make some money in the NFL? I certainly can understand it. You're not playing for a national title. You're not in the Final Four. You're going to step away. You're looking out for yourself at this point, and I really can't get mad at that. But you're right. Looking at Boise, they should be able to slow up a little bit. I'm not going to say they're going to go out there and throw out, hey, Oregon's going to only score 17 points in this football game. There will be points in this one, but I just like the aspect I'm going to get a touchdown or possibly more than a touchdown. I believe it was like 8.5 a week and a half ago, but now that the number has since dipped down, obviously since Taggart's left, and also the announcement that the running back's not going to play. Herbert's good quarterback. He's going to be in this football game, but I'm going to take the points in this one, Jeff. Give me a touchdown or more in this one. Give me Boise State. If Madison comes in this football game, the running back for Boise, and he's healthy, they should be able to stick around in this game. A lot can go wrong in bowl games when you're playing in Las Vegas, so maybe one of these games, Jeff, we anticipate, hey, 4 starters are not going to play in this football game because they broke curfew by hanging out at like the Spearmint Rhino all night a couple nights ago. So be leery of this football game. I'm going to take the points in this one with Boise.
Yeah, there's definitely some injuries though for Oregon as well. They have a couple injured running backs right now. Obviously, Freeman not playing. Tony Brooks James has been injured as well. It'll be interesting. And you're right. The suspensions are always abound, seemingly, in this bowl. 2 more here, Donnie. We're definitely not going to have enough time for everything today. Colorado State against Marshall, New Mexico Bowl. I don't have much on this game, Donnie. Colorado State, good offense, questionable defense. Marshall, pretty good defense, questionable offense. Do you trust Chase Litton in a bowl game like this? I don't have much in this game, Donnie. What do you think?
Who's more excited for this bowl, Jeff? Honestly, probably going to be Marshall as opposed to Colorado State. Coming into the season, I had a little bit higher expectations for Colorado State. A little bit banged up. Gallup's a great wide receiver. Should be okay at the quarterback position. Izzy Matthews is going to play in this game, that 1-2 punch with Dalen Dawkins. But one of these games, Jeff, where you don't get excited for, you don't really know. It's 5.5 point spread. I'm actually going to lean on Marshall. I know they have the chops to play in this football game and play good defense, possibly slow down Colorado State. Is Colorado State overall the better football team? Yes. But where's the motivation heading into this football game for Colorado State? I think Marshall can sneak up and play a close football game. Don't love the game there, but I'll take the points with Marshall here, Jeff.
Yeah, can't disagree with that. One other one here, Donnie. Middle Tennessee State at Arkansas State. Interesting game here in the Camellia Bowl down in great Mobile, Alabama. What a nice place to go play a bowl game. All the bowls, all the great locations, and you get good Mobile. A nice state all of a sudden. Great state, Alabama, Donnie. Here. Middle Tennessee at Arkansas State. Arkansas State a small favorite here. Look, Middle Tennessee, listen, with Stockstill is a totally different team. We talked about that all year and how inept they were. Without him, you bring him back, all of a sudden your offense can move the football. What a surprise. Defense has played pretty well all year under Scott Schaefer. He's done a good job there, the former Syracuse coach. You're going to have a tough day here against Arkansas State. I mean, Justice Hansen can move the football. Both these teams are going to move the ball. I'm looking over in this game, Donnie. It's moved up. I know early in the week we were talking about it, 62-ish. Listen, I think anything up to 65, I think is worthy. I don't see any reason both these teams don't move the football. Both these teams defensively want to be under pressure all game. Donnie, what's to think that this game won't go over?
No, I like that. I think it's the better part of that side. You see it opened up, 57.5 at Chris, 61.5 with Pinnacle, hanging around 63, 64. There should be points. Both these offenses can move the football. And the one thing you love about bowl season, Jeff, you're not trying to get to a bowl anymore. You're not trying to win your conference. It's almost like a celebration on the season. Everybody takes and decompress, like the coaching staff at these levels. Their goal at the beginning of the season, Jeff, is what? Maybe win the conference, but if we can get bowl eligible and go to a bowl, I'm going to save my jobs. You have a lot of fun down there. You have two athletic, very good. I mean, Stockstill's not as athletic as Hanson is, but two really good quarterbacks that will be able to move the ball. You're going to see some trick plays. You're going to see fake punts, fake field goals, stuff you don't see during the season. That always tends to lend itself to more of an over in this one. If I'm looking from a side perspective, I think Arkansas State, to me, overall, a more athletic team and should be able to win this football game. I would take the side in Arkansas State here, but more so, Jeff, I agree with you. I like the over. Two good offenses. They should be able to move the football and hit that total.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think this is like a 38-34 type of game. I think this one will get to around 70 if you ask me. But we will, Donnie, look forward to the Bowls tomorrow. Obviously, I will stay abreast of that line there. North Dakota State, Sam Houston. It's moving up to 20 at most books. Could we get 21? Who knows? We'll see. People will come in, I'm sure, Donnie, tonight and say, wow, there's a college football game. Well, North Dakota State's playing. I got to get on them.
Is Wentz
so I'm
out
going to
there?
wait for
Wentz
that
going
one.
to be there?
Yeah. His brother plays for them, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
Donnie, we were going to talk NFL, but we're not going to have enough time. I do want to get this
No, we don't have enough time. Slide
public
it down.
service announcement
PSA.
out, Donnie.
Yes.
So let's skip down to that one there. Donnie, I've actually talked about this before, but I think it's important that we give a minute to the people that do this and really tell them that it's time to stop. Last night, Donnie, as you know, I do play of the day in college basketball. I've been very effective at doing these. I'm making people a lot of money. I'm doing all my hoops for free right now, and I'm up 23 units. So last night, I put a play out on South Dakota, the Coyotes, and they were on the road at Northern Arizona. It wasn't an easy game, but they're playing well. They got 15 at halftime, and I get a tweet that says, "Great pick, big man." One,
Yes.
that kind of thing, and I say to myself, I'm not jumping on the kid for doing it. I'm sure he was excited, but it's like, I don't know how many times I have to tell people, stop doing that. I know it's like just me being, irritating and stuff, but it's like, it's a mush. The game's not over. It's a full game. Stop calling games at halftime. It's just, there's a full game. It's not a half game. If we had a first half play, that would have been totally fine. But it just throws off the mojo. And Donnie, what happened in that game? We had to sweat the whole game. They ended up winning by 13, us laying 12. But the point is, until the game is at 0, stop doing that. I've said it before and time again. Stop doing it. The game, it just mushes it. It puts bad mojo on the game. It's one of those things, Donnie, you and I talk about all the time. You can't call a game. Listen, if it's 2 minutes left, you're laying 12 and they're up 31. Okay, I get it. Fine. But at halftime, you're up 15 and we're laying 12. I mean, where on earth would that game ever be over? I mean, it seemed like it threw off the mojo. Donnie, it's got to stop. It's a big problem in this game that we're in, and it's got to stop.
Yeah, no, the only thing that's reserved for calling a game early is when you don't think your team's going to win, so you call the game in hopes the gambling gods smile down on you and give you one back, and you can erase that tweet and say, winner, that's what I did it for. Never, ever count those chickens. I think one time I counted the chickens this year when I had like a 30-point lead on the spread or 28-point lead on the spread with a couple minutes ago, which was wrong by me, but I figured I'd end it there. But you're right. Until it's at zeros, I don't like to push that winner button out there, Jeff.
Yeah, that's a great point, Austin. I mean, especially in the NCAA basketball. I mean, it's such an interesting thing halftime. It's a dynamic that you can come out and, you go on an 11-0 run and get right back in the game, Donnie. You can't do it. Listen, if you play a soccer game, you play Paris Saint-Germain against against Shakhtar Donetsk, and they're up 5-0 at halftime.
Or the young boys,
right, yeah, or the young boys or whoever. It's probably safe to say that you're probably going to win that. But when you're in a basketball game and you're 4 points above the number, 3 points above the number, the game's nowhere near over, and it's got to stop. I mean, it almost was horrible. So leave that to you. I think he's in the chat, actually. Roll a T. Leave that to be a little bit of a learning experience for you. definitely not something you want to do again. And it was really just a public service announcement. The comment of the day, Donnie: fuck public service announcements. Talk NFL!
Always
Exclamation
talk
point.
NFL. Yes,
Um,
I talk
yeah,
NFL to my wife, to my pets, everything, man.
settle down, Mela. We talked about it earlier. You missed it. But again, we have a lot to talk about, dude, and we didn't get through everything. But we are only given an hour, Donnie, and that's how it goes sometimes. But
Leave them wanting
we
more,
wrap it
Jeff.
up.
See that? I think we did.
Donnie, before we go, how about you do this? Why don't you give us your early on your favorite play that you're looking forward to this week at NFL? You got anything?
I don't know about favorite play, but there's a couple games that I'm circling in on, which are really interesting. And I'm telling you right now, Jeff, sometimes these games pop up off the screen that you want to look at. I already gave my play of the week, which my players are already on as well. And that was the over 46.5 in the Green Bay Carolina game. Aaron Rodgers coming back. I don't think the Green Bay defense is going to be much of a stopgap out there versus Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Should be able to do whatever they want. But the one nice thing about having 3 healthy wide receivers in that Green Bay game, now you have Aaron Rodgers back. The one thing, what do you want to avoid from Carolina, Jeff, is that front seven. So how do you avoid the front seven? Really protect your quarterback in this instance. He's going to be able to get the football back. And don't you think for 1 second, Jeff, in this game, when we look at, BS flags that are going on out there, let me see a single player from the Carolina Panthers, Jeff, get near Aaron Rodgers late to sort of test that collarbone. 15-yard flags all over the place. I see scoring in that game. If you're looking to win a bet this week, I love the fact that Green Bay Carolina game, 50-degree weather, light winds, no precipitation. Aaron Rodgers is back. You should see some points in this football game, folks. They should be able to play this game into the low 50s, somewhere on that 31. Can you see what, Jeff? 31-24, 31-21, 31-27 type range football game. They're going to play this game into the 50s here, folks. That should be a good spot for you to lean on. Take the over in that Green Bay and Carolina Panthers ball game.
I like it. It's interesting, Donnie. They WIP the other day. They had I forget who they had on. Someone that played defense in the league, and the first question John Marks asked was, if you're a defensive player, do you consider, is your thought process to try to hurt Nick Foles? He actually asked that question, and I think maybe Ike Reese even chimed in and said, yeah, that is a thought. It's if we can get this guy. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, you got to be real concerned for for him. I mean. Do you think he's ready to go? I mean, it's like a rushing him back a little bit. I don't know. That's just me. It was me. Go ahead, Don.
Yeah, he's ready to go in every instance, Jeff. Like he's been He's been practicing. The arm's working well. But you're right. Is he ready to go where a defensive lineman, Starletooth Lele, or somebody just beats their man off the ball and does one of those hits, Jeff? We see it all the time. Gets there right when he throws it, and you land on top of him. I don't know if he's ready for that, but from a pocket standpoint, delivering the football, he's ready. But you're right. You never know if that's, that plate's still in there going to be healed. Tony Romo came back, Jeff. We saw that game where he comes back from a clavicle injury. Boom, right back down. He's out again with the same injury. So we'll see.
Yeah, last thing before we go, the kid that called the game early, it was me. I was excited. Haha, thank God it covered. The BMOC Goombas are coming to break my thumbs. Yeah, you know what? Actually, we did have people outside of your house in the 850 down in the Florida Panhandle.
They were waiting.
We
no
were
harm,
ready.
No foul. Pulled them all. Yep,
yes,
yep.
I said pull the plug. It's all good. Give the kid a learning experience. It is what it is. But yes, Rolla T, we had you. We were ready to give a little talking to you. We were waiting outside your house down in the Florida Panhandle. Other than that, everyone have a great day. We'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow with Ian Cameron on the Closing Line College Basketball Edition. We'll get into that. Hopefully, Ian Cameron's mic's working. We're having a little issue with that. Also, I'm sure Donnie will have the judge breaking building the case.
I'll have an NFL video out today. I don't know if it'll be the judge. The judge had a couple nice winners in a row. Jeff took a loss last night with the Colts, and I would have liked to talk about that Colts game, but that's for here nor there.
By the
Jeff,
way, yeah, we forgot about that
on Sunday as well. Yeah,
forgot about that. I forgot we even talked about that game. Yeah,
that's
Denver,
how good.
Nice winner. Yeah. Thunder to Sixers tonight. That'll be fun as well. A lot going on tonight. Everyone have a great night. We'll be back Monday, right side of campus. Catch us tomorrow, though, me and Keen Cameron for the Closing Line. Have a great day. Bye-bye.